Hello and welcome to another edition of Will's Grill Shack. Today we are doing a 9.9 kilo brisket on the Big Green Egg XL. Now, as you saw from that intro, that is a big old brisket, and by the looks of it, it's come out alright. I've been excited about doing a brisket on this Big Green Egg since I've owned it, and I've now about, I think, 3 months into the ownership of it, and I feel as if I have figured out the temperature control stable enough that I can leave it and do a longer cook. Doing a brisket on the XL Big Green Egg is something that I've been looking forward to, and I had this 9.9 kilo USDA prime brisket in the freezer, and I've been saving it for a time when I was off work and I had the time to be able to spend either, it could be 12 hours or it could be about 18 hours. These briskets just vary. So I thought, why not? I'm off on holiday, let's chuck this brisket on and see how we get on. And don't forget guys, if you are new here, I have got an Instagram page where I post daily content. You can see some of the cooks here, as well as a really nice brisket. Don't forget to check it out, head on over there and I'll see you there. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. So let's go over to the bench. I'm going to show you what we're going to season it with, how we're going to trim it, what kind of trim we're going to do. It looks pretty fatty, so I think it's going to need a lot of trimming, but let's go over there, check it out right now.
Okay, and here is our USDA prime brisket. 9.9 kilos it is. It's a big old girl, loads of good marbling on it. So let's get it out of the backpack and let's give it a trim. And there it is, all trimmed. Only thing that annoyed me was this little bit here. There was a really bit of flappy skin, which unfortunately, you need to remove or it's not going to turn out very well. And there was this little cut here, looks like where the saw's gone in maybe, which was a little bit frustrating. I was debating whether to come round and cut it off, but then I was thinking, well, I'm going to lose most of the flat there, so there's no real point. Other than that though, nice trim on it. Should go nice, hopefully get a nice glistening on that fat as well. And as you can see, there was a lot trimmed, so we're going to make some brisket burgers with those in another video as well. And today we're going to be using Holy Cow on this, and we're going to be running fat side up as well, which is something that I don't normally do, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on with this. So what we're going to do is just spread a nice coat of this all over the brisket, and I'll come back once I've done that. Okay, and there it is, all seasoned up. Didn't want to go too heavy on it, it's only a light seasoning on the outside. All sides nicely covered, as you can see. So now let's go fire up the Big Green Egg.
Okay, that is the brisket all trimmed up. It's looking good. Fairly happy with that trim. I do think it was a little bit heavy on the fat side, that brisket, but it doesn't matter. I am going to use the leftovers to make some beef tallow from the fat, and I'm also going to do a brisket burger, which everybody seems to rave about, on my Facebook page, and I will post a link to the brisket burger once it's available up here, so you'll be able to check it out. So let's go over to the Big Green Egg and have a look at what charcoal we're using, because we are using some new charcoal that Baltic have sent me, which is apparently the absolute bee's knees, and I haven't had a chance to use it on a low and slow yet. So let's go over there, check it out right now.
And today we're using the Baltic Birch Hardcore, which I'm yet to use on a low and slow, so looking forward to seeing how this performs.
Okay, so the Big Green Egg's come up to temperature. I'm going to be using planet friendly firewood. I'll put a link to these in the description. These are oak chunks, and just look at those, perfect for Big Green Egg style cooking. Okay, so she's dialed in 110 degrees, really nice and spot on. Now I want to talk to you about the way that I've positioned it onto the grill. So we've gone with the fat point end over the back, because that's the thickest part. Unfortunately the sun is shining, so it makes it a little bit difficult to see. And then we've gone the flat here, and what we're going to do is halfway through the cook rotate it, but that is the setup that I'm using. So that's it, all on the grill. I'm going to now show you the next few hours that you can see what I've done in a small little clip. I'm also spraying it with apple vinegar cider and water, 50-50. I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to give that recipe a go. Okay, we're now at the 6 hour mark, and this is looking like it's ready to come off and be wrapped. So let's go over to the grill and check it out.
And here's the brisket. It's looking good. Looks like it's ready to come off. So you can see the Thermapen's in it, right in the middle, and it's reading 65, 66, which is where about right I'd like to wrap it. And today we're using the new butcher's paper from SoCal Barbecue Shop. You can just see the logo there. Really good quality pink butcher's paper, so it's the real deal. So yeah, let's chuck this brisket on there. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little spray. This just makes it a little bit easier to move about and fold to how you want it. Okay, so we're just going to wrap this. I say I will mute it because it gets pretty noisy. And there we go, wrapped up in a nice parcel, nice and tight, which is what you're looking for. So there it is, back onto the grill, nice and tightly wrapped, same position as before. We've added a probe here for the flat and a probe here for the point. And we've linked up to the Thermapen smoke. If you look at the top right hand corner, there'll be a card to review of this. It's a really good bit of kit and I'll use it all the time, so highly recommend getting one. So we're just going to leave that now and wait for that to come in. The probe alarm is set at 95 degrees.
And we're currently going through a bit of a stall here. It's been at 91 degrees for about an hour now and it hasn't moved, so we seem to be sort of hitting a second wind with the stall, but we'll pop back in an hour and we'll have a look at it and I think we should be there.
Okay, so just going to do a quick update. It's looking good. It's currently reading the 95, which we're looking for, but after using the Thermapen, this is looking good, nice and just like butter through that. But if we look at over here, we're only at 90 odd degrees, so we've still got a little bit and there's still a little bit of resistance on that, so we just need to give it another 10 minutes or so, I think 10-15 minutes, and we'll see where we're at.
Okay, we are now 11 hours into this cook and we're going to take you over there and you're going to see that it's probing like absolute butter and it's really, really good. It was worth powering through that stall.
Okay, so it's now probing how I want it. It's literally no resistance. Look at that, no resistance in it at all. Exactly how I want it. So let's get it on the bench and we're going to... Okay, so it's on the bench. We've got some clean film here, which I know you think is weird, but we're just going to wrap this in clean film. It just really maintains the heat, and also I find it stops all the juices and stuff going all in your cool box and you having to clear all that out. So we're just going to wrap this. Next up, we're just going to wrap it in towels. So I have got two of these. Again, they're not the greatest of sizes, but the missus is fed up with me keep ruining the towels to wrap meat up. So just do it once like so. Then grab the next one and just tuck that under and under, and now that is ready to go into our Yeti. Now she's tucked away in the Yeti and we're going to leave it in there for about, I'd say, three hours or so. And we have been going for 12 hours and we have barely used any of that charcoal, as you can see in there.
Okay, it's now been resting in that Yeti for 3 hours, which I find is just the optimum rest time for these briskets. It really does work. I say wrapping it in clean film also really helps with the heat retention. So now let's get that onto the bench and I'll take you over there now.
Okay, here it is, rested in the Yeti, and you can see got a nice bark on it. I tell you, I can't believe how much it's shrunk. It's shrunk so much. I mean, you think that was a 9.9 kilo brisket and it just looks tiny now, but let's slice her open and see. Okay, so just going to grab our knife and I'm just going to go straight down the middle. Let's have a look. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Fat has rendered down absolutely beautifully. Same on here, loads of juice on it. Really nice brisket that. So it's time for the taste test. We have a bit here, looks really good. I don't think it's going to hold on its own weight. It's fairly pull aparty. No, it's not going to hold on its own weight. So it's a little bit too much, but the bend test is definitely there. So now let's try some of this goodness. The fat is just beautiful, just really nicely rendered down. Getting some really nice tones of oak on this, really nice bit of oak. It's just really tasty. There's no other word for it. It's missing the smoke ring in terms of looks, but in terms of taste, that's really spot on. Cool, I was really impressed with that brisket. Really nice. Got some nice flavour. We ended up having it with a roast dinner and it was absolutely spot on. Really nice addition to the roast dinner. I was a little bit disappointed, to say, with the smoke ring, but unfortunately sometimes you just don't get that smoke ring on these. Maybe where the brisket wasn't in the fridge for long enough. I quite often do like in the fridge for 12 hours on some of the other briskets that I do, so then it's really cold, then when you put it straight on the grill it shocks it, whereas this time I say I only did a few hours, so that could be why potentially there wasn't a smoke ring there. But it did have a really nice oaky flavour to it, just like you get on an offset, and it had a really nice flavour, so I was pretty happy with it. And what I will say is that Big Green Egg ran consistently 110, 115 degrees all day, and I started at 7 in the morning, I finished at 7 at night, and it really did just perform really well. I was really happy, and to see how much of that charcoal as well that we had left over, there's enough there to probably go on for another 15-20 hours, I think. Absolutely crazy. So let's just recap on what we did today. We had a lovely 9.9 kilo USDA prime brisket from Tom Hickson's. Really nice bit of meat. We then trimmed it up and we seasoned it with this here, which is Holy Cow from Meat Church. Really thought that gave a nice flavour. It made a change from the Texas AF that I would normally use. We then fired up the Big Green Egg. We got it dialed in at 110 degrees. We chucked some oak chunks on there to give it a bit of flavour and a bit of smoke. We then put it onto the grill and we smoked it for a good 3-4 hours before we started spraying. We then sprayed it with a 50-50 mix of apple vinegar, cider and water. We then took it off, we wrapped it in that amazing SoCal barbecue shop butcher's paper that was really nice and tight on the wrap. We then popped it back onto the grill. We used the Thermapen smoke to monitor the temperature once it was back onto the grill, and we took it all the way to 95 degrees and it was probing really nice. I say the whole cook took just under 12 hours. So it wasn't a particularly long cook. I've had briskets that have been 22, 23 hours, so it was a fairly quick cook, I would have said. We then rested it into the Yeti cooler, wrapped in clean film, which again is an unusual method, but trust me, give it a go. And then we also wrapped it in towels as well into the Yeti cooler, rested it for 3 hours,
got it out onto the bench, sliced it up, and Jesus, was that juicy. And there's also a different clip that I filmed on my phone, not for the YouTube video, that you can actually go and see on Instagram as a reel, and that is seriously juicy. So literally head on over there and check that out for sure. And yeah, we really enjoyed it, and it was a really successful brisket. I was really happy with it. So a good day for Will's Grill Shack. So guys, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join me next time for some more Big Green Egg content. Thanks for watching.